What is the difference between in-laws and outlaws? Outlaws are wanted, whereas in-laws are hated. Last Sunday, Jesus accused Peter as someone of little faith and as someone who doubted. Today, Jesus praised the Canaanite woman as someone of great faith and as someone who did not waver and shy away in spite of Jesus' reluctance and humiliating words. I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. What can we say about the Canaanite woman and Peter? The Canaanite woman, unlike Peter, did not belong to the in-group of Jesus. By virtue of race, she was an outsider because she was not a Jew. By virtue of gender, she had no political right and identity because she was a woman. In other words, unlike Peter, the Canaanite woman was a non-person and therefore did not deserve any acts of mercy and justice. That's why, because of her cultural and political identity, Jesus called the Canaanite woman a dog, meaning worthless and good for nothing. However, this dog, this worthless and this good for nothing woman had proven Jesus and his cohorts deadly wrong. Through her worthlessness and nothingness, she enabled Jesus to see beyond the confinements of cultural affiliation and political demarcation, as well as to challenge the limits imposed upon by race and gender. Thus it can be said, without exaggeration, that the Canaanite woman had evangelized Jesus and converted Jesus to realize that faith was not a matter of skin color and gender. The faith of the woman enlarges the perception of Jesus and widens the understanding of Jesus about the scope of his mission. The woman's faith helped Jesus to see that he was not just sent to the lost sheep of Israel, but rather to the lost sheep of the world. This encounter had elated Jesus to the point that he described the woman as a person of great faith. Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish. Why is the faith of the woman great? Why is the faith of Peter little? What can make faith great or little? Is your faith great or little? The modifiers great and little do not refer to the quantity or amount of faith. Rather, they point to the quality of trust. Thus, these modifiers suggest a question of how much we can trust God with our life, future, and destiny. To this question, we can presume that for now, the moment before the resurrection of Jesus, Peter could only trust God a little, whereas the woman could trust God greatly. Why? How did this become possible? For now, this is what it is, because Peter and the Canaanite woman put faith in Jesus via two different ways. Peter came to believe in Jesus through the way of the head. Like his compatriots, Peter was expecting for a political Messiah, a mighty king and warrior who would lead them in battle and would win for them liberation and freedom from foreign domination. For Peter, as long as Jesus would fit in this criteria, then in his calculating and analyzing mind, Jesus would be the Messiah. Otherwise, he would do everything within his power to make Jesus conforms to the kind of Messiah that his mind had already conceived for Jesus, even to the point of becoming a hindrance to the will of the Father. Peter, as the Prince of the Apostles, was an intimate member of the in-group of Jesus. He had access to the most personal information about Jesus. But for Peter, it was not a guarantee that he would have a great faith in Jesus now, and before the resurrection. His preconceptions of Jesus clouded his understanding about the true identity of Jesus. Hence, he was of little faith, a faith that requires a lot of growing through hard knocks. On the other hand, the woman found faith and put faith in Jesus through the way of the heart. Being an outsider, she heard a lot of good things about Jesus. What she had heard was enough for her to fall in love with Jesus. Because of this love, she came to believe in Jesus with a faith that trusts completely and totally. By believing through the way of the heart, the Canaanite woman did not need proofs. All she needed was the person of Jesus, the subject and the object of her love. Love has a logic that the human head cannot comprehend. With love, believing and trusting become an experience of hope that knows how to risk everything for the sake of the one you love. Thus, despite the initial insensitivity and insulting remark of Jesus, the woman had risked everything for the sake of her daughter's healing, and in doing so, converted Jesus and won over Jesus' love and admiration. Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish. Being a woman and a mother, her love for her daughter inspired her to do what she did, because there is no mother who would not do anything for the sake of her beloved child. This woman, this mother, prefigures to Jesus and to us the great love of the Father, the love of a Father which is willing to risk everything for our sake, even to the point of giving up His only begotten Son. Friends, faith is a gift and a response of trust to God, who time and again has proven Himself as God who is trustworthy and who can be trusted. The quality of our faith response is not solely conditioned by our connection in the church, contribution to the church, or attendance in the church, but rather by our ability and capacity to love, and by our generosity and magnanimity in loving. The littleness or the greatness of our faith depends on our willingness and eagerness to love, not on our mere membership in the church. Membership is praiseworthy, and it can become more noble and beautiful when it is coupled and nurtured with love. This insight serves as a reminder to all of us not to be quick in judging those who are not regularly coming to church. It calls us also to consider their deeds of love outside the church, for those deeds of mercy and justice are the fulfillment of membership in the church, which we call discipleship. Two mothers suffered a heinous tragedy. Both of their sons were murdered violently. The first mother was an active member of a prayer group. She was very involved with her parish. After the murder of her son, she was interviewed as to what she wanted to happen to the killers whenever they are caught. In a very angry voice, she said, "I want them to die by lethal injection. They took away life, so they should pay it with their lives. They killed my son without mercy, so they could not expect me to be merciful and forgiving to them." The second mother was not so active in her parish, but she was always involved in helping the poor in their community. During her interview, she said, "Whenever the killers would be caught, I want them to be brought to me. I will not hit them. I will not yell at them. I will only ask them why they killed my son, because I want to know, in order to make sense to this senseless killing. I want to know because I want to find healing and strength to forgive them so that I can begin living again. Friends, between the two mothers, who do you think has a great faith, the first or the second? If it were so, then let us all learn how to do it.